in this first slide, we present the introduction to the topic, and we will give some data starting with mentioning the Global Situation Report 2020 Renewable Energy Policy Network for the 21st century. The global use of modern renewable energy, including traditionally use of biomass as of 2018. We have the imagine of the left of the report to be able to look for a little more information about it. We continue. Beyond energy is part of the contribution the system incorporating technology, social, cultural, economic, and environmental consideration, and in addition to offer an economical profile table alternative since it can be based on waste. Modern bioenergy provides 5.1% of total global finally energy demand in 2018, accounting for about half of renewable energy if finally energy constitution. Biomass has been one of the main energy providers in rural areas for a long time. The fourth largest source of energy in the world in the last decade was biomass, which represent the finally energy constitution considered of coal, natural gas, and electricity. As we had already mentioned in the last slide, biomass was a source of energy in rural areas for a long time. With the onset of the first oil shock in the middle 70s, biomass was again released by many governments and policy markets to be valuable domestic energy resource that has the potential of reducing oil constitution and important and improving the balance of payment and deficit problem caused by dependency on imported oil. By energy is renewable energy derived from recently liver biological material or biomass. And the biomass can be defined as organic matter that can be converted into energy. Biomass resources are potentially the world's largest and most sustainable energy source. That is why it stands out among the main energy supplies worldwide. Among other alternative energy sources, the potentially bioenergy feedstock are farm-based and indigenous agricultural waste. Bioenergy plants, crop residue, and animal waste weirdly no energy crops that have high potential for biofuel production and environmentally.
In the past years, the use of renewable energies in Mexico has increased. Biomass is mainly obtained from sugarcane bagasse. Veracruz is one of the states that contributes the most because of its abundance in the region. It is estimated that the country has at least 70 power stations to employ bioenergy. Currently, some companies use feedstocks to produce their own products and reduce the use of oil. Organic waste and biomass have a great potential to produce electric energy or vehicle fuel. It is estimated that 60.8 megawatts of electric energy will be generated by this source between the years 2016 and 2030. We can say that biomass is abundant because it comes from the organic matter around us. It is also considered as a natural battery because it obtains energy from the sun, so the biomass resources can be restored in a fraction of the time others do. Therefore, we will never run out of biomass to produce electricity, unlike with other natural energy sources like solar energy or wind. So we can say it is a reliable resource. Biomass also contributes in waste management because it redirects the waste from landfills to the energy plants, so this may reduce the pollution provoked by them and lessen the negative impact it can have in the environment. It can be used as a way to reuse those materials. Because it is already ground for food and waste, it is easily to access, and it also helps to enhance rural economic development by producing new jobs. However, there are some disadvantages to consider. The cost of acquiring, transporting, and storing biomass are more expensive than other electricity sources. The crops produced with the intention of being burned can take a lot of space, and when those are burned, CO2 is released, which contributes to the climate damage. And even if new trees are planted, they will take a long time to grow, and there will be not enough time to absorb all the carbon back into the atmosphere. The practices that are not entirely sustainable can cause deforestation and cause more harm than benefit in the long run.
The biomass is one of the oldest energy sources. Its use decreases after fossil fuels stood out for being cheaper, easy to process and use. Currently, there are cases of success worldwide in the use of the biomass as a sustainable energy source. Its use can be adapted to the local conditions of each region to have better benefits them, to take advantage of its resources and avoid environmental, social, and economic issues. The graph is a clear example of how the use of the biomass has increased over the years. The considerations economic development relies on a secure energy supply. Costs associated with introducing bioenergy technologies are investment to be made in a capital for process equipment and infrastructure, as well as the needed human capital. Furthermore, of the importance for a sustainable development in terms of economic parameters are the allowed financing schemes in countries promotions bioenergy technologies. There are many important aspects in social terms to consider when talk about the sustainability of biomass. Food and water are one of the most important things to life, and the biomass growing schemes must not compromise this. However, these crops provide labor opportunities in the field of biomass growing and use for energy supply can help to employment, which is a social benefit to mankind. We must not neglect that for any activity to be sustainable in the sense of the social development, that bioenergy related activities should be such that people person remains positive and supportive. Greenhouse gases and other types of emission are factors to consider in determining whether the use of the central time of the biomass is considered acceptable. Another important point is a concern for the utilization of and a quality impact on water resource of the introduction of bioenergy. There is a term called life cycle assessment is frequently used to quantify the impact of using a specific raw material. That means that we must consider the energy balance. If the generation of greenhouse gases will be generated when the use of biomass was already offset, the photosynthesis process is the growth of the raw material. The possibility of using what is considered waste for generation of energy is fascinating. It is a method that goes from having no value to contributing both economic, environmental, and social benefit, in addition to finding a solution to the problem to waste that represent. Due to its large volume and its daily generation and increasing together when the increasing in the pollution, biomass is an attractive source of energy for helping, even in small quantities, to cover energy demand while reducing greenhouse gas emissions. However, biomass is a controversial issue due to the implementation of bioenergy crops to produce raw material. More than anything, it's more directly related to the social aspect since it competes with the food industry. Biomass, despite having numerous benefits, is a renewable energy source that must be used intelligently. For it cannot quantitatively represent a great benefit compared to the other renewable energies, but contribute to the solution of current problems. When implementing any type of an alternative energy, we must consider its efficiency and verify that it really must represent a benefit, not just it's a irrational use for fashion effort to reach central goals.